time. Y'all had just y'all were coming to this warehouse. Y'all were supposed to meet the Tepka Society. There was a contact there to hand over the Dreamer's Amulet. The gentleman y'all met as the contact at the bathhouse who led y'all here betrayed y'all. What? Y'all stepped into the warehouse, which was an ambush by the Yuan-Ti. Y'all wiped out first room pretty easy there. Gustavo found a couple of people who were trapped in cages who were being agonized by some sort of poison in their veins. Cried out, don't let us become like them type deal. Gustavo asked the group to step out of the room as the wailing and gnashing of teeth ceased on the other side of the door. As y'all go into the other room, that's where y'all entered into. Y'all found a handful of Yuan-Ti there who were in the middle of some sort of ceremony or ritual with a kind of a pile of treasure and items sitting on this center dais here, and y'all had just entered combat with them, kind of slaying them. Y'all were collecting the loot of the battle from what was on the altar as y'all were finding gold, silver, copper, various items, magic items, weapons, potions, etc. And as y'all were gathering all those sort of things, a gentleman just sort of appeared, sort of kind of materialized right just on the north side of the map.
Is his token accurate to his actual appearance?
Yeah, and in fact, I was trying to pull up. I thought I had it saved over here. I was going to pop up like an actual full screen.
I think you can hit like Control Z on the token. Or Shift Z. I don't remember what the... There it is.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that man sort of kind of appears right before he, as y'all are sort of collecting. Y'all do, as soon as he sort of appears in the room, it's you feel him before you see him. Meaning, as experienced adventurers and people who are familiar with combat, you sort of that sort of spidey sense sort of tingles as he appears in the room. It's almost as if the light grows a little bit dimmer, almost as if it grows a little bit colder. You feel a sort of presence and power from him as he steps into the room, as he sort of materializes there. As you all turn to see him, he actually has somewhat of a grin sort of appears on his face as he addresses the group. Very kind of almost loudly, he begins to sort of clap. Congratulations, the party has arrived.
I'll start clapping too.
He says, yes, congratulate yourself. You've done a fantastic job dealing with the silly Yuan-Ti 12 group, whatever they like to call themselves. But I'm so thrilled to finally see all of you gathered here. Now the fun can begin.
We don't even know you.
Know me? No, I'm sure you haven't met me before, but well, I guess you could say I'm the reason you're all here.
No, the other guy sent us here.
Oh, I don't have a whisper.
Uh-oh.
He says, oh, my dear Gustavo, you think too much in the short term. In the grander scheme of things, I am the reason you are here.
Well, we're here to fight a death curse.
I don't recognize the voice. Who said that?
We are here to fight the death curse.
There it is.
As he turns and sort of looks right at you, and Almost eerie how he knows each of your names. Oh, my dear Dieter, you think you've come here to fight the death curse? Be honest. Why are you really here? Don't you seek power to stop that, save those that you want? But I've really got to ask a question to you. Do you really want to risk your life to save these the wretched humanity and devastation you've seen before? Don't you think perhaps they might all deserve death in the end?
Oh, I am not here for everyone. No, you're right.
No, of course not. People across this planet, they deserve death. Let's be honest here. No one deserves to live on and on and on, being resurrected time and time again. Half these people don't even deserve the first life they live. Stop. I mean, you should know, you've seen so much of the wretchedness of humanity, from the way they enslave each other, the way they murder each other, the way they rape and pillage and burn down and steal everything you want. Do you really think these people are worth risking your life and saving?
I'll look at him and be like, I'll tell him, yes, there are bad people, but I've also seen the good in some people. So not all people deserve this.
He almost laughing with, that's what makes this so much fun, because you're going to have to put that to the test. Are you really willing to live up to the words you speak there? Are you willing to forgive even those that have done you the most wrong? Or are you going to take righteous judgment and seeking out a revenge upon those who have done wrong to you?
Oh, those that have done wrong to me will pay the cost.
Exactly. Judgment. They deserve that death. And isn't that what I'm doing here? Giving people what they deserve?
I don't know what we're doing here.
By the time he kind of looks over at Candace, and of course, the Warforged. I'm so excited to see you from a far off place here in Faerun now joining us here. I think you might interest me the most. The one who seeks to be the pacifist, the one who seeks to do no harm, who doesn't want to wage a war, and yet here you are. What war are you fighting here? There's no war being taken place.
I'm just here for the scenery and my 20 AC. My guy would just look at him and go, I'm merely here to aid my companions as ordered.
Yes, but isn't it interesting? You take orders, a soul trapped in a metal body who is built for war, and yet somewhere down deep inside you don't wish to wage war. What a fascinating conundrum we have here.
Again, he would not compute any of this. He is this is above his pay grade. He's just simply here to help his companions.
As he continues on, kind of looking down the group, and Ted, oh, good old Theodore. It's so wonderful to see this one here. The one who probably knows just as much as any. The one who knows probably more than all, yet trapped in such a mind that can't compute what he's already seen and experienced. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. And this is where the fun really begins. Oh, and Monty, of course, the monk here, the man who is fascinated and spent his life devoted, studying the ways of life and death. Have you even really begun to explain to these what you're really doing here? Why you have such a fascination with death? Just be glad you found those prayer beads when you did, before it was too late. And then he sort of addresses the whole group as it's kind of been passing eyes from one to one. He kind of addresses the whole group at this moment. He's like, well, if you haven't figured it out just yet, gentlemen, I am a Serac. And as he says it, his voice sort of drops.
He said Ace Serac.
Isn't that a liquor?
I think it is. Sriracha.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You just put an A in front of it, make it fancy. You can't do that. And he called you a cucumber. Does it start getting cool over there yet, Jared?
Yeah, it's starting to cool off a little bit.
God, it's like humid and muggy over here. It's nasty.
Yeah.
As soon as he said his name, y'all would notice that Dieter, again, as you've seen him once before, does sort of grab his head as a pain sort of strikes through him. And with that reaction, Acerak sort of kind of smiles and says, yes, bringing up memories, are we? And then he addresses the group again and he goes, as I said before, I am the reason you are all here. While you might not necessarily be familiar with me, let me introduce myself. I have known by many names, but one thing I am known for sure is I thoroughly enjoy puzzles and dungeons and traps. I have brought each of you here because you interest me so very much. The moral conundrums, the philosophical contradictions, the way you are just so torn apart internally on opposite ends. And I just so cannot wait to see the way you trespass and transpire through this jungle, through literally a continent that is a giant maze of mine, simply to try to stop this. And I can't wait to watch each of you suffer slowly and die painfully in the end, unable to stop my plans.
So what are your plans?
Oh, great, Theodore. I am so glad you asked that. If you have not known, as you might have even seen a time or two before, this is enacting a curse where, let's just say, those undeserving of life, really, it's funny that they even say they have a soul in the way in which they've lived their life. Now we'll forfeit that soul because, well, we have a hungry appetite. I mean, I am sort of eating for two at this moment.
Cal is simply going to look at Gustava and say, this one is stranger than you.
He called you a cucumber.
Yeah. And I think he's pregnant.
Listen, he will immediately after he hears Ted say, says, well, I mean, I'm not, but gods certainly do give birth to fascinating things.
So you're just fat?
He sort of laughs again, a real deep-hearted laugh. Oh, Theodore, you so amuse me.
I think Monty would ask him what god is he serving.
He immediately almost bursts in laughter. Serve a god. That is absolutely hilarious. Serve a god. I could become one if I so wanted to, but who would want to be something so boring as a god when I have so many more interesting ideas? Like, what happens when you slay a god and then raise it as the undead?
Is that riddle?
Is this a rhetorical question?
Oh, this will be interesting. This will be such a fun adventure.
So,
Yeah.
what do you want us to do?
That is a great and excellent question, Gustava. I simply just wanted to meet you in person for once before you head off to seek the temple and curses and be hailed as heroes throughout the world. I just wanted to meet you face to face first, because I'm certainly going to enjoy watching you all slowly perish one by one on your journey. So I would say this: come find me, Estava. I have many things waiting for you.
So, if you don't want to become a god, can you make me one?
He sort of laughs again, kind of that deep-hearted. Just oh, Theodore, I'm sorry, but you have neither the intelligence nor the will to become a god.
But then you could slay me and see what happens.
Theodore, and you kind of see you're so small. What I deal with is much, much larger.
Cool. Do you have like a map so we can find you later?
Kind of leans over and it's like, yeah, a map. That's funny. I'll tell you what. You know what's really funny? The way all these people, and you'll meet them from time to time here in Chult, where they talk of Ubtao, the god of Chult, the one who has saved them from Dindar and the one who has rescued them. Yet Ubtao simply told them the way to me. He drew it with his finger in the ground, and yet these people that you would so insist on saving are so dumb, so stupid that they interpret it as life advice and some religious epiphany about the way they walk through life, guiding through Ubtao's maze. No, they're idiots. It was Ubtao telling them exactly how to find me. And that's the greatest joke of all, that these gods can be tricked themselves into a simple ruse. You wish to find me, Estava? Find the temple of the trickster gods.
Sounds like some trick.
That's the funniest joke of all. They think they're so smart, so powerful, and yet a simple lich like me could fool even the gods and imprison them.
Well, you sound smarter than all of us.
So you have the god in the prison?
One god, Dieter. You think too small. I have many.
But who's watching the god while you are here taunting us?
I forget the simplicity of humanity. I'm not actually here. Well, gentlemen, as I said, I just wanted to meet the main characters of this little fun, entertaining game I'm playing with you all, face to face, before I watch with a careful eye as you make your journey to be your heroes. I wanted to introduce myself so you know exactly who it is you're looking for. And I'll say, I so look forward to what you will do and how you will navigate this maze. Best of luck to you all, even though I know it's in futility. And with that, he sort of gives a very pronounced, almost like an actor's bow, full giving a standing ovation at the end of a show, just a deep bow. And as he stands back up, he sort of just dematerializes and dissipates away.
As he bows, I'll bow and I'll tell him, "I'll see you later, you fat turkey."
Oh, he was spreading a lot of cheer.
That was weird, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand anything he was saying. He's got to be way smarter than me.
He must have had a long night. He was rambling. So we're in a maze, right? Is that what he said?
I think the jungle is the maze. I wouldn't probably put that together as Gustava, but
Oh yeah.
I would say Acerek is known for designing deadly temples or deadly dungeons. The reference to the jungle was a maze outside of a maze. I think he was just sort of more referencing the jungle as a natural maze around his maze. But with that, he has disappeared. Y'all are still there, kind of. Y'all have collected y'all's treasure. So wherever y'all want to go at this point, y'all were sent here by Sagi Rin, so I don't know. It is sort of the middle of the night. It's like 1, 2 in the morning at this point. So I go, y'all were supposed to hand this off to the Yatepka Society. That obviously did not go awry. So however y'all want to proceed from this point, y'all just let me know.
Is it too late to go back to the original meeting place where we were supposed to meet the correct people?
At this point, I don't even think y'all really know. Y'all guess this guy. I would say it's probably past time. Y'all were supposed to meet him at midnight, and we're already at like 2 in the morning. Don't know if you'd be able to find that contact.
did we go to the right place? We just found the wrong person.
Yeah, y'all didn't ask for the sign.
We got intercepted.
You were supposed to flash a hand sign to indicate the right person, and did not ask for it. So
Yeah.
y'all followed off this Yanti spy off to a warehouse.
Yeah. Well, mission accomplished. Let's go back.
Y'all gonna go back to Sagi Rin?
I guess we need to tell her
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah, let's go tell her what happened.
Or her, yeah.
All right. So we'll say y'all make y'all's way back. She's at Kaya's house. Kind of where y'all are at right there, that main portion. So y'all return back. By the time y'all actually get there, it's probably almost about 4 in the morning, or maybe about 3 in the morning when y'all get there. Sagi Rin is at her corner post there, kind of just staying awake and eager in anticipation to hear back, make sure everything's gone well. So when y'all walk into Kaya's house, this inn and tavern combination here, it's pretty much cleared out of patrons at this point. Those that remain are sort of passed out at the table. It's very few people there. Most people have either gone home or got a room for the night. Very few people still awake. So y'all see Sagi Rin over in the corner, eagerly waiting to hear back. The bartender's still awake, and maybe 1 or 2 patrons just kind of enjoying a drink to themselves at the night. So not really much going on here as y'all walk into the inn tonight.
Well, if Sagi Rin's there, we'll tell her kind of what happened. I mean,
Yeah, so as soon as y'all walk in, she kind of immediately lights up, and she's like, y'all come sit down. She's like, so tell me, did everything go well?
No.
it
Went weird.
went a different direction.
Oh no, what happened? Please tell me.
But as the snake people tried to steal the amulet.
And then some
We killed them all.
Sharok,
Acerek.
Yeah, Ace Rat.
that guy.
He popped in.
At the mention of his name, she sort of almost just goes still. Normally, the just overexcited, over energetic Sagi Rin is just constantly going, just sort of almost freezes and goes still at the name. And after just a quick moment of silence, she's like, okay, I need y'all to tell me everything.
Well, he knew who we were. And he said something about puzzles, and
He owned a bunch of gods.
these people don't deserve what we're doing for them, basically.
It sounded like he was trying to make a god.
Yes, That guy. That's what he said.
For the first time, Sagi Ren is just like stunned and just motionless and still, just not even necessarily speaking, just listening to what each of you have to say.
Well, he said he couldn't make me a god. I look too small.
She finally sort of breaks free for just a moment and says, do you still have the Dreamer's Amulet?
Yeah, don't. Well, I still have it. Written
Monty
down.
has it.
Yeah, Monty has it in his pouch.
All right, let me see the Dreamer's Amulet.
Monty will put the pouch on the table that contains the Dreamer's Amulet. Does he need to take it out, or can she?
You tell me, is Monty reaching in or is she getting it out?
He's just gonna hand her the bag.
All right. She will reach into the bag to pull it out. She reaches in the bag and pulls out the Dreamer's Amulet. And again, kind of for the first time, just without all the over energy, it's almost a very somber. It's the first time she's ever been like this, just very calm, very almost containing panic. She takes out the Dreamer's Amulet. And she says, if what you say is true, Asarak appeared to you, and he's behind all this. This is far worse than I imagined. I have to go. And she just gets up from the bar and just leaves the inn immediately. Just takes off kind of running for the door.
Whoa. I'll grab her by the arm and be like, whoa, I can't. We need a little bit more explanation than that.
As you grab her arm, she whips around. She goes, I have to tell the merchant princes about this immediately.
I think we should go.
What?
I think we should go visit you.
Yeah, I mean, we need to know too.
She says, yes, I agree. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go talk to Wakanga. He's pretty friendly with us Harpers. Lady Sylvain is actually staying with him right now. Let me inform him of everything I know, and I'll actually arrange a meeting between you and all the merchant princes in the morning. You've done enough tonight. Get your rest. We'll meet in the morning. I'll arrange the meeting with all the princes.
But you have trusted us with the amulet before. I think you should leave it with us.
Roll a persuasion check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, and she goes, you're right, Dieter. Here you go. And just hands it over to you.
I give it back to Monty.
Monty will put it back in the bag.
Gotcha. She goes, with that, I'll send for you in the morning. First light. And she takes off again, running for the door.
Okay, boys, I guess it's nap time. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do my whole get buried before and after.
All right. So you cast it before you go to bed and when you wake up?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Let me, before we split up, while we're still at the table.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I feel the need to share something with the group. I have told you of my magic with the echo, and he appears like over my shoulder. And how this is me, but it's not me. It's me, but it's me from another reality. There was an accident when I was learning how to use my echo. And I had a vision. I became the echo for another Dita.
Sweet.
And, well, no, it was not sweet. This Dita was working with Asarak. and he was in charge of his army. And this is a vision I had again tonight. Except I saw the god that the Israq is trying to make. And let me tell you, Yusala is too big for even you.
You're lost in translation there. What'd you say?
Too big.
Do
not think we can kill it.
I mean, does it bleed? We can
I
kill
don't
it.
know.
Can a god king bleed?
Yeah. I just wanted the group to know why I'm here.
How did you get back to Dieter? How did you get back attached
She
to
was
Dieter?
an echo for the other.
I know.
He got summoned.
It was like, well, normally the echoes are from other versions of me that didn't happen. Are you familiar with the string theory?
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
It's this a form of dunamancy magic.
That's all you need to say.
Zohas. But
You've
basically,
heard of
it's
the multiverse of madness.
basically it's if you go to the door and you can go left and you can go right. Sometimes you do go left and sometimes you do go right. But the universe remembers these choices and it holds on to the energy of the left or the right. And even if I went to the left, because of my magic, I can use the data that went to the right.
Fascinating.
So that is where my echoes come from. So, but when I was young and stupid, I didn't know what I was doing, and I became the echo instead of pulling the echo to me. And this is where I saw
Yep.
the Isaac. So my emperor sent me here to try and stop him because he had taken over the whole world, all of the worlds and all of the universes.
So even this one, huh?
Even this silly world, yes.
Man. I don't understand a word you're saying. I feel like a soggy pancake.
Anyway, this is why I do not try and be in charge, because when I'm in charge, I tend to hurt people.
Oh, okay.
Well, there are plenty of people trying to hurt us, so.
Yes, and I appreciate your help. We need to try and make this wrong right.
I'll give them some good berries.
So, yeah. I've got questions, but I need to sleep on it.
Yeah. All right. Now that we know that, I was highly confused before then.
Well, that's the highlights of Deidre's backstory. There you go.
Brandon, did you finally get COVID?
I don't know. I might have. But you know what? I'm off of work for a week, so it don't matter. No, man, I was already scheduled to be off.
Let's see.
I think you're the one person that hadn't gotten it, and especially you of all people, the ER doc. So I didn't know if you'd find after hearing you cough. I didn't know if you finally came down with it.
I don't know if it's just a cough or what, but honestly, we're seeing more flu than COVID nowadays.
Oh, really?
The flu is here.
Yeah. Seriously, have we learned if there's people immune to COVID yet?
Immune to COVID? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't think.
Yeah, my son is immune.
I've got to be, dude. I'm around so many people that have tested positive.
My son has been around multiple people. He has drank after me when I had it. He's been around Danielle and stuff, and he has. I think he's just immune.
Seriously, I've been literally in an enclosed, locked in office with people and just never gotten it.
Well, I'm pretty sure William had it like 2 weeks ago because Ashley was sick and then William was sick. But Addie and I didn't get sick then, and then I got a cough like 3 days ago. So who knows?
Yeah.
All right, what's everybody doing for bedtime? Or what are y'all doing after Sagi Ren left?
Well, I think just
Guess I'm going to pick my new spells for level 5.
Y'all aren't there yet. I'll tell you what, though. I actually do have to do some recalculating because I actually did shortchange y'all on some experience.
so we got a spell book in the magic items.
That
That was back in the beginning, wasn't it?
yeah, that was the very first session.
Yeah. I was looking over here.
Yeah, that was Zeldara's spellbook. That was the lich y'all first went into the tower and stole it and
Yeah.
negotiated the information that she thought it was possibly a Sirak. So that's what that was. But y'all don't actually have that in your possession.
Eric will take that.
Yeah. And then we got a drop with Sentinel Shield in it.
Yeah, that's the only one I gotta add. I gotta add Sentinel Shield.
Yeah.
I got all the others in there.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's nap time.
All right, so I know you did your good berries. Anybody else doing anything before bed?
One guess.
All right. What's Cal doing?
Same thing as always.
All right. And Gustavo, anything you're doing before bed?
This cape, when you attune to something, do you actually know what it does when you attune to it? Is it like something that you just know, or do you need somebody?
When you attune to it, you know its properties.
Yeah, when you spend the time attuning, yeah, you learn what it is. That's part of the attunement process.
Which for the Cloak of the Bat is hilarious because I could just see Gustavo like standing outside, like flapping his wings.
Yeah. In the
Oh, we're
day.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
All right, so you're attuning to that for sure.
Yes, the only thing I got.
I will, if we're not really counting slots, I will definitely attune to my Mace of Disruption, but leave it hanging on my belt for most of the time.
Also, Sentinel. I don't know if that's attunable or not, but it doesn't say.
Sentinel Shield actually does not require attunement.
Yeah.
Nice. So does Sentinel Shield give him the Sentinel feat?
No.
No. So in fact, you should have it in there now.
Yeah.
So you have advantage on initiative rolls as well as perception checks.
Yeah. Hey, better than nothing.
Nice.
It's a nice little item.
Yeah, I had that when I liked it a lot. Especially because I was so freaking slow. I needed the advantage on initiative.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, with that, I'll say everybody goes to bed. You'll do at the very Cal's still down in the inn on sentry mode. So if y'all took a room upstairs, which by the way, y'all are in Kaya's house, it would be 5 gold piece per room. If y'all want to go ahead and deduct that.
Yes.
But Cal will be the first to notice right at the crack of dawn as the sun's beginning to rise. People are beginning to do their normal routine of going out in the streets, setting up shop, getting ready to sell their wares and fruits and whatever it is they're selling. The dinosaur races are beginning. People are bringing out their dinosaurs, getting them ready for the day, for betting on the races, all this kind of stuff. a small contingent of guards does walk into Kaya's house, and Cal would be the first one to see this as y'all are still upstairs asleep. As they begin marching forward, 2 guards do approach Cal and simply would address him and say, are you the one with the party that was working with Sagi Rin?
I would simply say, please identify yourself.
He's learning.
Okay. He would identify himself as Atur, A-T-U-A-R.
Okay.
I'd say, I am Atur. I work for the Merchant Princes. We were sent here to find the group that is working with Sagi Rin and provide them an escort to meet with the Merchant Princes. And so where's the rest of your group?
I'll simply say that I will pass along that message to the appropriate parties.
He'd say, I appreciate the willingness to pass along the message, but we're here to escort you.
Okay. I will stand up to my full height. I'll come out of sentry mode and say, I will not be escorted anywhere. I'm going to stay stationed here. I will pass your message along.
So you're standing a clear, good 2 feet above this gentleman at this point. I'd say roll an intimidation check.
Oh, all right.
See if he's intimidated by your size and forcefulness of.
Let's see. That'd be a 12. I don't know if it'd be against his.
He rolled a 17. He would say, still taking into account the full size and weight and scope of you standing before him, he sort of looks back at his group. He feels the slight hesitation and trepidation for a moment as he sort of looks back at the group of roughly about 8 guards that are kind of there together, and that sort of re-emboldens him. And he's like, a little bit softer. He's like, I understand, but we're not really asking. We're here to. Maybe I'm not being clear. The Merchant Princes.
I would cut him off and say, no humanoid. You're quite clear. As am I. I have recently experienced deception, and I will not be a victim of that going forward. I will make a nod, and my steel defender will animate and come to attention at my side and say, I will be more than happy to pass on information that you wish our attendants, but I will not be disclosing the whereabouts of anyone else in that party or allowing you to escort me anywhere. And I will raise my spear to my side.
With that, seeing at your full weight, the steel defender coming to your side, he does sort of take a step or 2 back, kind of unsure how to proceed, and he kind of turns around to look at one of the guards kind of behind him, and he just says, "Hey, y'all go find them." The rest of 6 of the 8 guards will begin to kind of disperse throughout the inn looking, and another guard will come stand next to him. He's like, sir, perhaps we started on the wrong foot here, because I do not mean you are under arrest or that there is any sort of trouble here. We're simply an escort that the Merchant Princes provide simply as a precaution of ensuring that no harm befalls you. You are being treated as special guests. If that was not clear, perhaps I was a little hasty with my words, but we're simply here to invite you, or the Merchant Princes have simply invited you as guests to speak with you about the events of last night, and we're just here to provide safety and security.
I will first off, I guess, as they are starting to walk, we're on the ground floor, correct?
Yes, you're on the first floor.
All right.
So the rest of the group would be on the second floor in rooms.
Okay. I would have, when I saw the soldiers behind you begin to disperse, I would have given an automated command to the Steel Defender to take up a protective position at the foot of the stairs. His movement speed is 40 feet, so I don't know if he gets there before them or not.
Oh, easily.
And then I guess while he's doing that, you would have been talking to me. I said, again, I understand, but you must understand my caution. If you would be kind enough to at least allow me to notify my compatriots of your presence here and see what they wish to do before we're escorted anywhere, I would ask that.
Gotcha. With advantage, you can choose persuasion or intimidation, whichever you wish. With advantage.
I roll 2. 19 and 12, and let me see which one I'm better at.
I'll tell you, he rolled a 7, so you beat him either way. He'll kind of, after you say that, he kind of stops. He'll actually see the Steel Defender at the stairs to the guards that got there kind of early. He sees them get into a defensive position. He raises, he's like, all right, guys. And he kind of gets everybody's attention. He's like, all right, listen, I get it. It's early in the morning. A lot's happened. Maybe everybody's a little on edge right now. He goes, I'll tell you what, I think you're absolutely fair with that.
All right. So if he allows me to do that, then I would pick up a mug off of the table, and then I'm going to touch it and imbue it with a magical effect.
Okay.
I'm going to encode a recorded message into this mug. And I'm going to then place it in the mouth of the Steel Defender, and then give him a command to go to the nearest room, because I don't know where everybody's house. I don't know. I've never been up there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To find the nearest companion and drop this on their sleeping head.
Okay. He will, seeing you as you're doing this, he sort of finish. He just says, I'll tell you what, we're going to step outside. We'll wait outside the building. You go talk to the rest of the party. We'll be out there. But I will say that we can't, please understand, we can't necessarily, we've been given orders as well. So I go, while we certainly don't want any tension here, we'll let y'all talk, but we'll be outside as you want to come seek us. And so he and the guards will step outside. The Steel Defender will run upstairs to do exactly as you've commanded.
I'm going to take defensive position at the door if they've left.
Okay. Steel Defender gets to the first room that it finds with one of them in there, which happens to be the room Ted is sleeping in, and will run up to Ted and drop the mug on Ted's head.
All right. Once it makes contact, because someone has to touch it. Once it makes contact, it'll play the recorded message that simply states, "This is 1047, notifying you that we have unwanted guests that are trying to detain and escort us to the prince's."
So was that liquid or just a cup?
No, just it was an empty mug.
I would say there was still a little bit of just kind of the last, 2 sips of beer or ale that were still in it that sort of spills out on the pillow as it falls on your head. So you get a little bit of old ale kind of touch your face as the mug hits, and you kind of wake up to a voice coming out of a mug.
And do I see the defender?
Yeah, you would see it. As you're kind of what just happened, being awakened, you see the Steel Defender, you hear a voice coming from a mug and a little bit of ale on the bed. And
yeah, I said, oh, bro, I didn't know you could talk, Scrap.
That's what I was going to say. You would probably think it was talking.
You didn't. You could have just hugged me.
With that, I would say you still did have enough sense to hear the message of what was relayed in the.
All right. I'll go to Gustavo and say, dude, there's people downstairs. Scrap on here told me, and did you know he could talk?
What do you say?
There are people downstairs, and they're probably not friendly to us. We need to wake everybody else up.
I'll certainly wake everybody up.
Yeah, I'll go to another room. I'll go to theater. I'll go get theater. And tell them the same thing. Because that's what that message said, right? They were hostile to us.
It said that that they attended.
Maybe.
There were people here that are uninvited guests that
Uninvited,
wanted to
okay.
detain and escort us somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't
He
say
used the word
hostile.
hostile. He said detain and escort.
Okay, I got you. Well, that's what I would have said then. I was too
Let's
busy.
go. This is what we asked for, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they said they were coming.
They're here.
It says, as all of y'all get out of the rooms, kind of waking up to this message Ted's passing along to y'all, y'all would all, I guess, make your way downstairs to find Cal standing guard at the door.
I'll walk up to him and be like, "Hey, buddy, what's our situation here?"
I will, in the most monotone, robotic voice, would simply state, we have one leader with 8 companions that arrived at this establishment and wished audience with us to detain and escort us to the princes. Because of last night's circumstances, I am not going to fall victim to that again. So I refused them entry until I could consult you.
Do you think we can take him, Kyle?
I would say, let's see. I'm gonna roll investigation check. What would actually? I don't know what the hell I'm gonna roll. You tell me what would I roll to size them up? Intelligence. Oh, good. I'm good at that.
Yeah, just straight intelligence check of what does your mind think of them versus what you think of your
That would
group.
be a 19 plus 6, so 25.
I would say it, however you want to word it. Cal would very analytically say, start sizing up the condition of their armor, the size of the humanoids, the group, the weapons they have, and think that y'all have a favorable advantage over them.
I'm imagining a Sherlock Holmes slow-mo, blow by blow.
Yes, exactly. As the processing begins of like,
first you will use the bow and you will take the left guy. And
I would simply say, Gustavo, I would calculate an 85% chance of success in any type of combative situation.
There you go.
When he leans in to tell me this, I'm going to reach around and grab that cape, whip it around, and be like, "I'm a bat now too."
Oh, you cut out there. You cut out there. What'd you say?
I'm a bat now too.
Jesus. Peter's walking outside.
As you walk outside, you see kind of they're not right at the door. They've kind of.
Uh-oh. I lost him.
Hello.
Yeah, we lost him. Oklahoma got hit by a bomb.
Kind of chill.
It's the rest.
They're peaceful.
Sorry, I just lost everybody. Yeah.
We figured the Russians had bombed Oklahoma.
One of them does kind of see you exit the door and turns around and says, "You there? Are you with the group that we've come to seek?"
Yep.
When I've lost. All right, now I got everybody. He goes, fantastic. He steps forward and he goes, "I'm on tour. I have been sent by the merchant princes to. They've invited you to come and speak about last night's events and the seriousness of some of the claims you have made. That is all I know. So we were sent here to provide additional protection to make sure no harm befalls you as we lead you to Golden Throne to meet with the princes."
This is good, John.
He goes, "Man, I'm just a guard here at Golden Throne. I don't really have a whole lot of information. I just kind of do what I'm told."
Let's go. Let's roll.
He goes, "Where's the rest of the group? Are they joining us as well?"
Yeah, I went out there.
I'll go back and knock on the door and say, "Can we leave yet?"
Yeah. I'll convince Monty at least and tell Cal that we should be okay.
All right, so we're all going?
Yep, yay.
So y'all make y'all's way through the city street with the guards kind of escorting. You'll do find travel is a little bit easier with the guards kind of clearing the path.
We're like rock stars with an entourage.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. The crowd sort of moves as y'all walk through, giving, wide berth to the guards there. Easily identified as those that belong to Golden Throne kind of guard there. And so y'all make y'all's way there. Immediately, again, kind of even this early in the morning as the last 2 times you've been here, there's almost like a crowd gathered outside waiting their turn to meet with the princes and air their grievances and make their cases, for rulings and judgments, etc. And the guards just kind of walk y'all right by the crowd, right into the chambers. And as y'all walk in, you kind of enter into the room, and this is Golden Throne. I mean, this is the heart of Port Nyanzaru. It is as extravagant as this place is mixed in with the wilds of nature. This place just stands a head and shoulders above the rest of the buildings, overlaid in gold and ivory. I mean, it is truly a kind of wonder in terms of the worth and stunning architecture of it all. As y'all walk into the center room, almost in like a half moon shape, there's kind of like a raised dais, where you can see where you're standing in the circular room as y'all come in, and kind of raised up in front of you, almost like a amphitheater, type deal. And there are 7 of the merchant princes are sitting in a chair waiting for you. Each of them has advisors standing next to them, guards behind them. Maybe they have a personal right-hand man or woman that stands with them as y'all walk in. Wakanga's the first to greet you, as he's met you before, and he sort of that kind of, again, he was the one that was a little bit older and sort of laughing about everything, had a kind of a carefree personality with him. He'll just greet you like, there they are, the heroes of the night. We are so glad you came to join us this morning. We have much to discuss with you. We wish to hear the tales of what you learned last night, and hear the story recounted, and see how we may need to proceed and what we can do here. We have much to discuss.
Yeah.
With the rest of the group sort of kind of nods in agreement as when they're, 1 or 2 others kind of, again, offer their appreciation. Just, yes, we're very thankful to hear of the way you have interrupted the plans of the 12. They have long been a worry to us and a burden. So your efforts to stop their plans is much appreciated. But it seems you might have some information that's, from what we've been told at least, might be even more pressing than that. Finally, another one, kind of an older lady that y'all know as Xanthi, the oldest of the group by far, but yet sort of commands a certain respect. She sort of stands up the rest of the princes and kind of stop and all give her attention. She says, yes, we are certainly grateful for your heroic deeds last night. We have much to discuss, but perhaps this is better discussed in private between these group of heroes and just us merchant princes. I would ask the rest of the council that we withdraw to the private quarters behind here, that we may discuss this in private, leaving all guards, advisors, and confidants out. That the rest of the princes sort of not in agreement, and attention turns to you, the group, to see if y'all will join them in a private meeting.
Sure.
Yeah, it's probably best in private.
They invite you into a private room in the back, in which there's a table here.
Nice.
Again, pretty extravagant room, golden statues, all this sort of stuff. So all the guards, anybody who's there for protection or an entourage with these merchant princes, each waits outside as y'all make y'all's way. They offer y'all a seat at the table. as y'all sit down to discuss. And I will say I've added each of the merchant princes to y'all's tab over here under Port 9 Zaru, Chapter 1, Port 9 Zaru, I believe. Or maybe not. No, I'm sorry, under Port 9 Zaru.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh, I just realized that. Each of the merchant princes there is a short description of each one. As y'all sit down, Akina Afa is a female. You can sort of almost even see the scars on her. She is battle hardened and she fits the part. She looks strong. She made a name for herself in the gladiatorial games herself before rising to prominence as a prince. As well as, so y'all see her, she's rough, rugged, looks very much capable in battle. Fina Tauro, Ifan Tauro, next to them. Jessamine, who of y'all have heard of before. She's the one who gives the sanctions to the assassinations. Yes, Ted?
I want to fly monkey.
You want a flying monkey?
Mm-hmm.
You will have a chance of that here. Yeah, so each of these princes, you will also see what they specialize in, what they sell, deal in, things like that. So there is, was that Ifan that deals with that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he deals with the sale and trade of various animals as well.
Worth 100 gold pieces.
Jobel is in charge of a lot of the guides and stuff there. Coyote's the one who held the games that y'all fought in. So there's just kind of a brief description of each of those people. One in particular does, let's see, who was it? Yeah, Ifan. So he's the one that deals with animals, and I would say he does also have like a pet snake that sort of slithers around his arm. So each of them kind of fit their part for what they're typically what they're associated with. Akina, being a battle master, looks battle hardened. Ifan deals with animals, yet he has a pet serpent with him. Jessamine with assassinations, dressed in robes, kind of quiet, soft spoken, things like that. Kind of very mysterious, almost hiding herself there. Jobel. A typical kind of merchant person, things like that. So they all kind of welcome y'all in to sit down. And as you'll sit down, you'll do notice there is one empty chair at the table. Zanti will actually begin the discussions as she sits sort of at the head of the table and opens it up and just says, again, I would like to reiterate our appreciation. The 12 has been a suspect of many attempts at disrupting our way of life here. They sort of are always a thorn in our side, a nightmare that lingers in the back of the minds of the Choltian people. And so for your efforts in interrupting their plans and stopping them, we are very grateful. But Sagi Ren has mentioned the name that has surprised all of us. The report she gave to us is that you had an encounter with the Undying One, known as Asarak. We would much like to hear your recounting of the events of last night.
I think Dieter has a handle on that, but he was pretty rude and cocky.
Yeah, I mean, we went to drop off the amulet, but the Yanti cut us in the trap because, but let's face it, they're not the smartest group. After we killed the Yanti, though, the Asarak showed up, and he was telling us about the death curse and how he wants people to die to feed the baby god he is making. I don't know. Maybe this word is not right, but that is what I understood.
They go, immediately Jessamine will speak up and say, wait, you mentioned something of a baby god?
Yeah, he said he was eating for two, whatever this means.
The council itself is almost a little, you see split reactions on all their faces. You know, some leaning in. Ifan will actually speak up first. Like, listen, this is speculation. Events that happened at 2 a.m. I mean, I understand the Yuan-Ti were involved here. We all know sort of the charms that they place on people. How do we even know for certain this is real? Do you have any evidence of any of this?
Other than all of us were there. I mean, we all saw the same thing, I think.
I mean, what evidence do you have that is not true?
Well, you're asking us, the council, to just sort of take your word on this thing?
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll load up. We can load up and go to the Temple of the Trickster.
We are just out of towners. We don't have how do you say the cat in the hunt.
We didn't actually. He wasn't physically there either. He popped in it under a illusion. So I don't think we could have gotten anything if we tried.
I mean,
Wakanga, the one you've met before, he's sort of an expert in the history of Chult and kind of the ancient lore that looms behind a lot of these cultures and mixes and stories, etc. He perks up at the mention of he heard something about trickster gods or something like that. He goes, quickly, please, you mentioned something of trickster gods?
There's a temple of the trickster. Is that correct? He said maybe he lured some people in there or was trying to lure us in there. Something like that.
Wakanga addresses the rest of the council and he goes, I can assure the rest of the council, I've heard mention of this temple of the trickster gods in my studies of the jungle from previous tomes and journals. I've heard mention of this before. I would vouch that there's no way these outsiders, people not familiar with this land, would be able to know that name unless they had heard it for sure. With that, there's sort of a common agreement of a nod, and Jobo will speak up and he'll just ask you, say, was there any mention of sort of what the plan was? Do we know, is Acerak even involved with the death curse? Did he mention anything about it?
He said these people aren't worthy of our efforts. And I'll reach over to Monty and grab the bag off of him and reach in and see if I can grab that serpent.
Roll a d4. Roll a d4. Oh, okay. All right. You reach in and you pull out the Dreamer's Amulet and set it on the table.
I'll toss it to the middle of the table. They're like, we've been here for a couple days. We've managed to accumulate this. And you sit here in your golden palace and question our ability and our efforts. You've done nothing.
I lean over to Ted and I whisper in his ear. I said, "Does he seem angry to you?"
I think he just wants some gold. I'm not sure.
As it hits the table, you do see a little bit of everybody sort of sits back, and there's a reaction of everybody almost jumps back
Jesus,
a little
doesn't
bit.
everybody that looks at it have to make a save now?
I'm getting to that. I'm like, there's something wrong with this.
So everybody does react as it hits the table, and they lean back. In reaction to that hitting the table, immediately the snake, the pet snake that Ifan has kind of on his hand or wrapped around his arm, just jumps towards it, like almost like just quickly reacts. The snake goes towards it, as well as two other snakes come out of his robe sleeves and begin to slither towards it. You do see Akina Alpha almost has an angry expression on her face. There's a mixed reaction amongst this group as well about this, and they all begin to kind of speak in contradiction. Everybody's kind of talking over one another, blah, blah, et cetera. And Xanthi, again, kind of stands up and raises her hand and silences the whole council. Sort of calms everyone down. And Xanthi looks over at Yastava and addresses Yastava and says, I do not question your ability. You have proven you are more than capable of dealing with these things for certain. As I've mentioned, I am very grateful for this, though. She sort of looks at the rest of the council. She goes, not everyone here might attribute the same worth to your efforts. And you can tell it's a little bit of a shot maybe at some of the council members, though you're not necessarily entirely sure who. And she turns her head back to you and she goes, I hear your words speaking of inaction from us, but understand as we guide this city, it is our responsibility to not act harshly or react uninformed. We simply wish to have more information so we can make a clear decision of what to do. Wakanga then speaks up and says, and for God's sakes, please put that away. Speaking of the Dreamer's Amulet. Kwayothi, who has experience with at least a piece of it before, is very much away from it as she's had an experience with this item before.
Yep. Well, is y'all's plan just to let us go back in there and possibly get killed?
With that, Akina Alpha will speak up, the female gladiator. She goes, you can hear she's not as eloquent in speech as maybe some of the others who are familiar with royalty, things like that. She speaks up a little more harsh. She goes, we're not sending you anywhere. We simply want to know more about this encounter with Acerak, what his plan might be, where he might be, so we can make an informed decision. And as far as your lives, we have all risked our lives at time and time again. We are not asking anything of you that we ourselves have not experienced 100-fold in this jungle.
I'll grab the amulet off the table and put it back in the bag.
Kwayothi visibly relaxes after it's put back in. The serpents also kind of slither back over to Ifan.
And
at this point,
I will tell them that I apologize and I understand that they have probably seen the horrors of this jungle. I did not mean to insult anyone on that matter, but sitting here with all this wealth around you is not going to protect you.
Jessamine speaks up at this point and she leans forward and she's like, Isala, I agree with your words strongly. I believe we must act and we must act quickly. Do you have any sort of hint at what this plan is or what might be causing this, how we can stop it? Is there any more information of action we can take to stop this?
He said the souls of the dead people are feeding the baby. Maybe we can
they all do kind of sit back and they kind of all just contemplate on the words you just said as they kind of, you can see each one of them kind of looking at each other. Even though they're all part of the same council, they've all worked well together. You can see they all every word that is said, you can tell they're all measuring each other's reactions at every word. You know, you can see they're sizing each other up in the midst of all of this as well. And so you see kind of the exchange of glances and each one looking at one another. And again, Justin impresses Florence as that is certainly good information to have. Do we know anything about the method in which this works or how we may stop it?
We were fighting the red wizards in the slums. I forget the name of the part of the town. But I'm pretty sure I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw it looked like when they died, something flew out of the body and off into the jungle. I have never seen it before.
They kind of all sit back, take it in. Understood. With that, Jessamine will actually speak up again after hearing this. She goes, she addresses the rest of the merchant princes at this point. She goes, I for one think this group has had, in a short time, has learned more information than any of us have on this, having to do with this death curse. Even all the factions we have here have not learned this much information. They are a group of action. She kind of looks at Yastava and nods, resonating with the words he spoke, and says, you can tell that immediately from the passion that they speak with. I, for one, would like to support their endeavor to learn more about this and seek out this temple of the trickster gods. Who will join me in supporting them? I pledge gold and supplies. Mixed reaction from the various merchant princes. Ifan immediately kind of scoffs at the idea and is like, support them. Why are we don't even know if they don't even know what they're talking about yet. We just hear remnants of sentences spoken.
What about our boy?
What?
What about our boy Wakanga, who's supposed to be in our pocket too?
Yeah, so each of them are going. I got Akina Alpha kind of speaks up. She goes, honestly, I can't even say I'm necessarily for ending this. I mean, honestly, don't you kind of think it's a little unnatural that people rise from the dead anyways? Death is a natural course. We all die at some point. I think it might be better off leave it alone. Jobel speaks up again, and he sort of he goes, listen, we're merchants here. We're not adventurers. We're not knowledgeable of these things. I think it is certainly better left to others who are more suited to find these things than I am. I am more than happy to contribute some supplies, but perhaps in terms of a return as well. I mean, we're not just throwing money away here.
If I'm not mistaken, Jobel, you made your fortune in the wilderness as a guide, correct?
He says, he kind of looks at you and says, yes, and now I hire others to do that sort of work. I've spent my time there. I don't look to seek out that jungle again, but I would be more than happy to provide guides to lead you through the jungle. I have a network of them, multiple that work for me.
Now we're talking.
He goes, yes, I can direct you to anyone that you wish. Quayothi speaks up as well with a little bit of harshness, and she sort of kind of agrees with Akina Alpha, saying, if we're going to be honest here, guys, I go, we're in charge of Port Nyanzaru and the welfare of our people and the commerce of this town. I am not inclined to throw money and gold and supplies at a group to go fight a curse that is essentially just keeping people that are dead. I don't really fully understand the grasp of a greater fear here or a greater demise. I just don't know if I'm on board with this all the way.
Who was
kind of, what's that?
Who was saying that?
That was Quayothi. Wakongo speak up as well, and kind of again, he's older as well, and kind of a little bit more careful, but yet he's with a smile on his face. He's like, princes, don't you understand? If everyone dies, what money can we make in the city? I think we absolutely must provide support and help and aid in any way we can to this group. First of all, they've already done so much for us just in dealing with the 12. Each of you all worry about the 12. We all do. And they've already done more for us in that than stopping a plan than most other factions have. They have more than earned our support and aid in this conquest. And they do us a favor. How many of us have seen those that we know die from passing away from this curse or to wither away and die? What a horrible thing. I cannot think of turning my back on them. I will pledge support for them for sure.
What if
Zanthi as well.
Baby guy gets bigger and have big baby guy will travel?
As soon as you say that, you do see a mixed reaction from the council. Those who've already sort of pledged support, you see a slight nod of agreement. Those that have not really necessarily joined the cause yet, kind of scoff at, like they're not even sure if they entirely believe the full scope of what you've said. Not that you didn't meet Acerak or have an encounter, but they're.
Well, to be fair, we just went off what he said anyway. We hadn't seen the baby guy either. I mean.
Yeah, I'm just talking about their reactions. I go, those that have not pledged support, you can kind of see they're not persuaded here. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't sway them to agree. No. Xanthi's the last one to speak up, and she goes, she addresses the princes, and she goes, each of us are independent in the ruling of this city. Each of us have differing views and opinions on the matter. She goes, I, for one, believe they have, what none of you can argue with is the value that they have brought here in dealing with the 12 and stopping the plan, whatever it may have been, to bring the Dreamer's Amulet into the city and to cause havoc amongst us and to perhaps control us, kill us, divide us, bring down Port Nyanzaru. For that alone, they deserve a reward. As far as whether you will support them in their endeavors or not, I know we are split on this, but I think we can all agree that we will each act individually in how we wish to support or not support them. I believe that is fair for each of us. And you sort of see a nod of agreement, whether some want to, some are eagerly ready to help. Some are just kind of like, all right, that's fair, whatever. If they don't have to help, they won't type reaction. Oh, I lost Trevor. All right. After that, they've sort of decided each that will pledge support will, those that won't. That's going to be acting individually amongst all of them. And then Xanthi says, and one more thing I will bring up here is she turns to the group and to speak here, and she goes, I know you are newcomers to Port Nyanzaru. You are new to our land of Cholt. You will notice there's an empty seat at the end of this table. The Yonti and the 12 have been a constant nightmare for us in their attempts to bring us down and attempts to tear down and overthrow Port Nyanzaru, to enslave the peoples, to enslave the native tribes, to release, at least in their minds, Dindar, the night serpent in whom they serve, their god. She goes, for your aid in defending them or stopping this most recent plan of theirs, we are grateful. And she goes, I would actually, and she kind of turns to the rest of the princes at this point, goes, I believe a reward is indebted to this group. And she turns back to, she goes, you have acted as protectors of Port Nyanzaru, whether intentional or not. You have protected us and done us a great reward. There was one other who, younger than most still here on the council, very experienced with the Yonti and often fought them. His name was Kyrian. I'll put it in the chat. Kyrian. God bless you. Xanthi says, Kyrian actually used to be an 8th member of this council, an 8th merchant prince that ruled with us. And unfortunately, in a time where he was helping defend Port Nyanzaru from the evil schemes of the 12, he gave his life in defending our city and thwarting the plan. With that being said, we often look to him as one of action, one who defended us and protected the city. As we discussed and decided what was best, he often was the one who led the charge in combat and leading troops and guards and taking care of us. And last night, you all acted the same as he had. With that being said, and she kind of turns to the council again, his villa is now vacant. These people will be here at least for the foreseeable future and endeavoring the jungle to determine what is the cause of this death curse and what Acerak has planned. And I think at the very least we can do is give them residence here in Kieran's place, acting as defenders and protectors of Port Nyanzaru, as they did last night. I wish to indeed them with Kieran's villa. Who will second this? And Wakanga will second it, and the council sort of mostly agrees. It's a majority vote here of they.
I'll raise my hand.
Yeah.
Where's Ivor when you need him? Starting a real estate empire.
Yastava, do you wish to speak?
I was just voting yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry. So the majority rules, and so Zanti will say simply say points. You kind of just in short, we'll hand you the deed to Kieran's villa. So you now have a villa that belongs to y'all that sits among the rest of the merchant prince's houses there. I'm going to bring you back to the map of Port Nyanzaru to sort of identify it, so y'all can see where y'all's new house is. Up here over in the merchant ward, this kind of walled off portion, y'all went and met Wakanga there in his villa. This is definitely the upper class, the ruling class area. Y'all's villa is amongst the rest of the merchant princes here.
I don't think the map moved, did it?
Oh, I'm sorry, I switched. I didn't bring y'all over. Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all are here in the merchant ward, up here.
Yeah.
So y'all's villa sits among the other merchant princes' villas up here. Nice fancy place. I will add that to the journal as well. Where is it? Oh no, it's under the party tab, that's right. Y'all will be handed the deed to this place, in which y'all can make changes to it as y'all wish and use it as y'all's place. 2-story place, but that will be able to house all of you enough, well enough alone there. And as well as those, I will make note of the princes that have pledged to support y'all. And in that regards, Jessamine offers her support.
Hold on a second.
Wakanga offers support. And Zanthi offers support. Akina Afu was actually against it. Ifan was against. Quayothi was against. And Jobel was neutral. With that being said, they are all princes. They all are merchants first and foremost. They all do sell different, they buy and sell different specific items, and all of them will still be more than willing to sell things. Some will offer and support either discounts or provide certain supplies, things like that. Whatever y'all wish to do in terms of make preparations for a journey into the jungle at this point. You have support from some princes, all that kind of stuff.
So the prince that does the the guides. Which one was that? Joe Ball.
Joe.
He was one of the ones that was against us.
No, he's
No, he was neutral.
Okay. He straight up murdered his whole party to steal all their money, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Uh-huh.
not
He
really
shows up
sure.
alone with a tankard full of with all the loot. Yeah. He murdered
Listen.
everybody.
They are all opportunists, I would say. That's why they have risen to the top. Whether good intentioned or ill intentioned, they have all been people of opportunity. Xanthi is the only one who is there. She's the oldest, the only one who is there because she actually still has a tie to the ancient royal family of Chult.
She was for us. Right?
Yes, she was very much for you. One other thing, so let me see. I also put it in under the party tab, the players map of Chult that y'all should all have. This will be kind of a reference guide to y'all actually right at the beginning, and I don't remember, it was like first session. I don't remember if I told y'all or didn't tell y'all or if we did it or not, but Sylvain, the one who y'all first met in the very first session, she handed y'all this map and told y'all to tell no one about it because maps of Chult are scarce. No one really has the jungle mapped out or certain locations mapped out, yet y'all do have this somewhat little piece of the map of Chult here that will at least get you started into the jungle. Shows you a little bit of the surrounding area of Port Nyanzaru, as well as a couple of, roughly the location of a couple of places on it.
William Clark did it? They didn't go in there?
A little bit. Most that go into the jungle don't return very much. And those that seek them, those that do return, typically aren't ones who have mapped it out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you all 5 minutes to kind of talk about what y'all want to do next while I go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Y'all want to try and I guess we need to try and actually leave town next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have like
So do we need? I mean, we need like a little info and shopping, and then just wrap it up, I guess.
It's almost it's 22, 25 too.
yeah, we need to have like a destination. in
Well,
mind.
what did they say? We need to figure out what he said about the finger of something. Is the guide's the way, right?
Right.
Uktau's finger drew the way through the maze, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Is that a river?
To the well, he drew to the temple and all the people.
And it's that's the way to get to the temple of the tricksters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out what Uktau's finger means.
Yeah. Well, the people that followed it got never came back. So.
And we're in Port Nyanzaru, which is on the north side of the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a skull and crossbones going in there somewhere. South of there. So yeah, I'd take a guide for sure.
Well, apparently the homegirl that likes us a lot, her son is a guide. We just have to go get him.
Well, we can do that.
Xanthi's son is a guide.
Yeah.
Well, he's in Fort
Belluri.
Bulurin. So we had to get there first.
Well, that's not out in the jungle though. That's along the coast.
Oh, see.
Oh, that's north.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, north. Yeah.
We can just hire those two guys we've talked to in town. Why not?
Yeah.
They're listed down here. River Mist and Flask of Wand.
Yes.
5 gold pieces per day and 30 days advance.
So it's 1 gold each per day. So do they want the 30 days in advance?
Yeah, that's what it says.
No. They do it for 4 gold a day and no payment up front. It's Joe Ball's flunkies that want to do it.
Yeah, River Mist and
They're
Flask
the
of Wine.
Walmart. They're the Walmart of guides.
They do not like Joe Ball.
Well, aren't they? They're the cat people that have helped us a few times, right?
They have
Not
simply,
not them personally, but
they have spoken to Gustavo on more than one occasion.
Yeah, well, we've had conversations.
yeah. But I mean, when we were fighting, and then the cat people came and helped.
That was Mask.
The Yatepka Society helped. You do not know the identity of any of those that were there that night.
Dieter doesn't know any better. They all look the same to him.
All them Tabaxi look alike.
All those tabaxis look alike.
I'm going to pee real quick, but yes, I agree. We need to formulate a plan and get supplies to get out of
Let's
town.
go talk. I mean, let's start with them. Whatever. Let's start with them and go talk to them about what we need to get out of the
Yes.
We're gonna go budget friendly on the first one since we ain't got no money.
Y'all ain't got no money. Y'all got plenty of money.
I don't even have enough money to buy a sword. What you talking about, Willis?
How much money do you have?
Enough.
I genuinely have not kept up with y'all's gold in the slightest bit.
I've got about 400.
I genuinely don't know how much anybody has. I will say gold will come quickly and disappear quickly at the same time. In terms of buying items and supplies.
As long as it disappears for +3 items, I'm fine with that.
I'll say, so each of the guides, while it's not necessarily listed, each of the guides knows like either one or two how to get to one or two specific locations that they've been to before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if River Mist and Flask of Wine, they've been to 2 places, they will know how to guide you to those 2 places. That's kind of how they act as guide. They're like, I can take you here and here, or like, I can take you to this place. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. They can help navigate some of it, but they don't just know the jungle. You know how to get anywhere, everywhere. Type deal.
Well, can we go back and talk to Joe Ball then?
Yeah, so as the meeting sort of between the princes convenes, you'll leave the meeting room. They go back to their various places. Typically, there's maybe only one merchant prince actually at the Golden Throne at a time. Most of them, they kind of do a rotation dealing with the people. So you can visit each of their houses, go talk to each of them individually, anything like that. So you can seek them out individually.
Yeah, I want to talk to Joe Ball.
All right, so we'll say as the meeting's sort of dispersing, y'all are kind of leaving that meeting room. Dieter, you go kind of catch Joe Ball before he leaves and to talk to him. So he'll stop and turn and address you. Dieter, yes, what can I do for you?
Oh, yes, hi. You are in charge of the guides for the jungle?
He says, yes, I would be more than happy to provide assistance from one of our guides.
Do you know the jungle very well?
Because me, it's been several years since I've been in the jungle.
I have a question. I do not understand the words. Do you know the phrase Ubtau's finger?
Ubtau's what?
Fingers, like on the hand, the finger?
Ubtau's finger. He goes, I'm not one who is very religious. I know of Ubtau, who is the god who ruled here in Cholt, who fought Dindar the Night Serpent and sealed him away in the volcanoes. Ubtau is often associated with the Maze of Life, as the Tabaxi call it, but Ubtau's finger does not necessarily ring a bell.
Who would know more about this Ubtao?
As well, Wakanga knows more about the history of this place than any of us, for sure. Ubtao is often still worshipped by those who are the older generation of Cholt, who still strongly have ties to the royal family, those who have remember the old ways and still wish to honor that.
Okay. And are there certain guides that are better for certain types of adventures into the jungle?
This is each guide would specialize maybe in knowing certain locations that they did before. They each navigate the jungle in their own way. Is there a certain place you're looking for? Perhaps I could recommend a guide, or you could ask each of them places they're familiar with. That's certainly a possibility as well.
Yes, we are trying to narrow down where we want to go first into the jungle, so we may come back and ask you later. We are looking for the temple of the trickster god, so unless you know where that is, then we will just go there.
He says, no, until today, I have never even really heard of the temple of the trickster gods.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
He goes, if you do want to speak to the guides, most of them you can find in the Thundering Lizard Inn, which I believe you've stayed at before, but most of them have posted up their services there at that inn. Many of them frequent that establishment as well.
Okay.
So, all right, I can get my servant to lead you there as well if you would like to speak to them. His name is Azon. He's a personal assistant of mine who often deals in handles a lot of our guide services. If you would like, he can escort you to the Thundering Lizard to introduce you to some guides.
Azon, yes, this is good, Jack.
Let's see here.
As he says that, he kind of points to the guy who was standing by where Joe Ball's seat was, as each of them had either one or more, 1, 2, or 3 rather advisors, right-hand mans, guards, associates that stood with them. He points to Azon as he mentioned that, so you know which one he is.
All right. If they're still in the chamber, then I guess I would, taking that information, go and talk to Wakanga and ask him the same questions. Just ask him if he's familiar with the phrase of Ubtao's finger.
Wakanga sort of like, Ubtao. Fascinating story, it certainly is. Ubtao, not actually a god. Many worship him as a god, yet he was not actually a god. He was more a titan who sided with the gods in the Age of Thunder during Wage War. And he goes kind of almost in this historical, like almost lecture style retelling the story that many have told before, full of just various details of the story and history of Ubtao. And as he kind of almost regain his attention back to Ubtao's finger, he's like, Ubtao's finger does not ring a bell. Ubtao, many of his worshippers believe that he preaches about the maze of life, that we're all in a journey and we must navigate our own maze to find our way through this life. The Tabaxi especially, who worshipped him, still to this day, often you will find them drawing their maze in the ground as they meditate and reflect on Ubtao's direction. I'm not familiar with any stories that are specific to Ubtao's finger, but I do know he is famous for the maze of life, as many of his followers call it.
Is there a place in the jungle or a temple for him?
He goes, yes, that is a tragic story, actually. I didn't finish the retelling of the story of Ubtao, but Ubtao, who once ruled over Cholt, the gods, basically as a reward for him aiding them in the battle against the Titans and fighting against Dindor, they awarded Ubtal to rule as the god of Cholt. He used to live in the city of, I believe it was Mesro. I will double check that, but I believe it was Mesro. That was the holy city of all of Cholt. It's where Ubtal himself reigned and ruled over that city, yet he grew frustrated with the incessant whining and complaints that people had. And one day he just took the city and vanished. There's nothing but remains now of Mesro. Even the barre that he had whoops, that's still not right. Barre that he had instilled with power, many of the 9 that he had given special ability to do not remain to this day. They sort of all vanished at a time, and Mesro's nothing but ruins now. The Flaming Fists often visit that place, I believe. They still use it almost as a battleground or training ground at times, but it's nothing more than ruins. Some still believe that Ubtal will return one day, that Mesro will return one day, that he will reinstate the Barre, but we do not know at this point.
So Mesro is a person, not a city.
No, Mesro is a city.
Okay.
And the
I'm
Barre
trying to
will-
make sure let me make sure that it actually is Mesro, because could be a different name. I'm 90% sure
I
it's
see
Mesro.
Mesro on our map.
That might be it then, because it's nothing but ruins at this point. The Flaming Fists still use it as like a training ground.
It's over near Port Castellagar.
I'll just Google that real quick, because it might be Meso instead of Mesro. I don't shit. Let me
All right. Well, I'm running low on ideas now.
Yeah.
Who's the other lady? We could ask her.
Huh.
Yeah, Mesro. That's right. Yeah, Mesro is the holy city of Ubtal.
I want to talk to the elder lady Zatara.
Yeah, Xanthi, I think it is.
Xanthia, yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, gotcha. All right. You go speak to her, you get her attention, and she'll turn to address you.
Yeah, I'll just tell her I didn't mean any disrespect earlier. However, it seems like she had been here for several years. And if she knew of any areas where my people, the bugbear, may have lived, are rumors of imprisonment for people of my kind.
As you mentioned that, she does very much. You can tell on her face. There's almost a little bit, almost like a contradiction. There's almost a smile of remembrance and joy that someone speaks of this, and yet a sadness appears on her face almost at the same time. You can tell there's both joy and wound here, as she says, yes, many do not know this, but the bugbear are very much native to Cholt. They were a part of the original tribes here in Cholt. Your people are a strong and proud race they are as native and belonging to the island of Cholt as we Choltian people are. They were here probably before even we were. They have always been proud warriors, a strong community who have grown together, fought together, and survived together against the jungles. They have been a wonderful peoples. It was unfortunate that there was a group of Choltian people who as many Choltian tribes at that time, century or so ago. They were all divided. We were not once joined together as we are today, living in cities, dwelling amongst one another. Each tribe worshiped their own gods. We've always honored the native animals that we see, and there was a group who almost revered and almost even worshiped the snakes. Those are those that we know today as the Yuan-Ti. Fortunately, in their distortion of the worship of the serpent, many of them persuaded the bugbear to come and aid them in setting up cities and tribes and ruling over Cholton dominion. And unfortunately, as the story goes, there was a great deception in which the Yuan-Ti betrayed the bugbear. What was supposed to be a fruitful partnership was full of lies and deceit, and the Yuan-Ti unfortunately killed most, enslaved the others, imprisoned some. I wish I could tell you a certain region, but the jungle is so unknown at this point, and that was many years ago is when it started. I cannot be for certain. The Yuan-Ti have moved, and even they have split into multiple tribes, breaking apart in their goals and ideology. I cannot know for certain a location to point you to, but and then you see a smile on her face, but I am filled with joy to see you standing here today, return to your homeland. It brings me joy to see the bugbear return to Jolt.
I'll just give her a nod and say, well, I guess it's good to be home. And then we'll go back to the group, try to figure out what we're doing.
Do we need health potions, stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine, unless one of y'all took a level of cleric.
I was, but my wisdom's dog shit. Much like my brains.
I will still say that I still think Goodberry might be the most effective and useful spell that you could possibly have in this setting.
I'm not getting rid of it.
Especially if you're going to hit us with food requirements.
Yeah.
Yep. There is going to be the jungle is not a friendly place. Food and water will be essential. And Goodberry being able to provide you with enough nutrients for 24 hours is going to be a lifesaver. That's going to be y'all's tiny hut for this campaign. Essentially. You know what I'm saying? What tiny hut was in the last one, that's what Goodberry will be in this one.
We can have 20 for 24 hours.
You must protect this one.
Let's
I'll tell you what, guys, it's about 12 now.
Yeah.
And we're kind of at a point where maybe we take some time, y'all talk about kind of what y'all want to do, get a game plan together as we begin the next session. You know, so this might be a good point to end it, and y'all kind of talk about what y'all want to do, figure out a game plan. I'm going to add some more stuff to the journal as well. I'll kind of update y'all on what some of that stuff is. I'm going to try to itemize out everything that y'all can do and get and all that kind of stuff into one clear section. But this might be a good place to end it so y'all can kind of figure out what y'all want to do, where y'all want to go, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, we got to meet the leaders and nobody spit on the floor, so that's a win.
True. I did think about it. But
Yeah, really, I kind of tonight's session was I wanted to introduce Sirac, have that little encounter, as well as provide y'all with the home and all the merchant princes and everything that they sort of support, and the protagonist and antagonist, those that are supportive and perhaps hostile.
well, that's a good start.
Yeah. Does our home come with servants?
It does not come with it. They've provided the house. You can certainly hire them. There's plenty of people to be hired in Chult.
Might need my, my royal armor clean before we head off into the jungle.
Yeah, we'll see how long you keep that royal armor when you head into the jungle.
Yeah, I was going to ask the guides about that before we left.
Yeah. You got heavy metal armor, right?
Yeah, scale.
Is it heavy or medium?
Chainmail. It's heavy.
It's heavy, yeah. Yeah, you might not keep that too terribly long.
If we're leaving and going back to like our new villa, I want to find like a tall wall.
A tall wall?
What time of day is it, dude?
Yeah, it's early in the morning. So I got this is kind of they met y'all at the tavern at the crack of dawn. So I go, this meeting kind of took place.
This will be our
early in the morning.
preparation day before we leave.
Okay.
This will be what?
So this will be our preparation day. We'll go.
Essentially, yeah. I go. It's
We'll
kind of early in
shopping.
the morning, so this is kind of y'all get y'all's house. Y'all can be familiar with it. Y'all have got, I'm gonna kind of update all the lists. So anything y'all can get in terms of supplies that y'all want to get in preparation for venturing out. Any guides y'all want to hire. Y'all can even hire additional support. Other adventurers to go with y'all, things like that. I go. So I'm gonna include all that in there. I'll send it in a list so y'all can talk about it, decide what y'all want to do. Here's a rough map of the villa. So you can kind of see what it entails in there.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
I'm going to try to redo that map as well. I threw that up there just so y'all could see it. I'm going to try to reformat that so y'all can kind of play around with it. Do what y'all want to do. Claim your rooms, redesign, all that kind of stuff. Anything y'all want to do with the villa to make it y'all's.
Race the tracker. Where's the prison cell at?
This does not have a prison cell.
Boat ramps. Boat docks.
Yeah, where's our secret boat entrance?
It does not have that.
Where's our teleportation underground teleportation circle?
But what was the Estava wanting to do with the tall wall?
He wants to grab both sides of his cape and jump off and see if he can fly.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
He doesn't quite fully grasp the concept of this yet, but
I would say right in the middle of the villa, there's a big open section that you can clearly, where the stairwell.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of goes up to that second floor. That might be a good spot for you to jump off of.
I'm gonna run up the stairs and kind of grasping what I remember from attuning to this. I'm gonna jump off.
Estava runs up to the top stairs, grabs the cloak, jumps off. Still very early in the morning, bright sun shining. These villas kind of use the natural sunlight and openings to allow the cool breeze off the ocean to sort of pass through. So things like roofs, ceilings, windows, not necessarily a big thing here. They use a lot of open space, a lot of light in this area. I would say Estava grabs the cloak, jumps off that top rail, but there's probably too much light in this room to really enact the requirements of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get you roll a D4.
Yep. It's 4 points damage.
Yeah.
As I crash the ground.
Yeah.
I'll kind of pick myself up and dust myself off and like, you can see him kind of counting on like going through his mind, like, okay, grab the edge of the cape, what else was there? Trying to figure it out. There was something else.
That's perfect.
He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
To unattune to it and then reattune to it. Takes your notes. All right. Well, if we're gonna take a break,
Hey, I rolled one dice and it was a 20.
I rolled 2 4s on 4s.
I didn't roll any.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Hey, roll a d12.
No, I mean I wasn't even playing. I was thinking back. I'm like, roll a d12.
Roll a d12.
I don't think it was a 12. No, it was a 3.
3? Okay. That would actually play into next session.
Oh, good. Stand behind me.
You should have Sentinel Shield now down in the magic
Yeah,
item
I
section.
saw it. I added it to my character sheet, so I wouldn't.
Okay,
So I might not forget it.
I will say I've never wanted somebody to roll a 1 before until tonight.
No, that pulling it out of the bag.
Yes, I so wanted him to roll a 1.
I knew. When I had him pull it out and you made him roll, I was like, I need to pull it out.
I so wanted you to roll a 1.
Yeah.
It is not a bag of holding. I will say that. That's all I'm going to say. It is not a bag of holding.
Well, maybe next time we'll get unlucky.
Though it might have some properties similar to a bag of holding, it is not a bag of holding.
Yeah.
It is smaller, but it is different.
Might eat your arm off or disappear stuff. What was it? Ivor had the bag of devouring. He would dump it out once a day or every so often. Or
You would eat everything inside.
Yeah.
Would it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't take it out.
And if you something about if you stuck your hand in it, it would eat your arm or something.
No, if you put any part of your body in it, it would basically suck you into it.
Ivor had that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably didn't even know that.
He had so much stuff.
And I think there was one time where we tried to use it on somebody. Somebody wanted some gold or something, and he tried to let him here, take it out of my bag.
Yeah, we had plenty of gold in the bag.
Yeah, it didn't even pan out then. I don't think.
Hey, Brock, when did you start recording the campaign sessions? Do you remember?
Towards the end of the first campaign, I think. Let's see.
I was trying to remember when you started recording stuff.
It's been a long time. Let's see.
But yeah, I'll upload a lot of there's a lot more I want to upload and get cleared up in the journal. So I'll do that before next session so y'all can have all that info to make decisions on what y'all want to do and stuff.
So he had the peephole ring too.
Yeah.
You could put it up to like an object and look through it.
Oh wow!
He did not know half that stuff that he had.
When I started playing him, I knew kind of what he had, so like that coin you could flip and all this stuff. Your channel, yeah. Videos.
Oh,
Half the time I would have to whisper to him to tell him what his character could actually do. When he was there playing, I'd be like, I have to whisper him, hey dude, as a bonus action you can take the disengage or the dodge or whatever. You know, like random stuff I'd have to tell him all the time.
Yeah, he had the deal if he like failed like an intelligence check, he could flip a coin. And if he won the coin flip, he actually passed it.
So we started recording Skyreach Castle.
That's when we started?
Yeah. That was a little over 2 years ago, almost 3. So, how many videos is that? 1, 2. Let's see. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 1
Mm-hmm.
Over 150 videos. I think, if I counted it down right. Let's see, 30 per page. So that's 91 videos. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to go to bed too.
I'm tired. I'll see y'all later.
I will say, hey, I loved Cal's reaction to the deception deal tonight. Of the, I ain't going nowhere with you. I was deceived last night. I ain't doing that.
Fool him once.
Screw you guys.